LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies. There's a slight chance of storms later in the day. We'll see a high of around 89. Tonight, we'll see a chance of storms early, then mostly clear skies and a low of around 67. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of storms. See a high of around 93. The meteorologist Kyle Puck from 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. He's going to go out of here. That's the big tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That's right. A couple hours of Strick and Austin on the block on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Austin. He is Strick. What's up, my man?
What's up? How are you today, Austin? I'm doing great, other than the fact, like I said, I think that night's rest helped in the recovery process because I thought I was going to be a lot sore today than I was. I'm good.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, doing fine.
Good.
Chilling.
We got some good news in the bank today, yeah?
Plenty of good news all the time.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think today's conversations are going to be wonderful because I think that it's going to allow you guys to engage. I think we'll have a segment today where we want to take a couple of calls because it's not cut and dry types of thoughts. It's very opinionated, but there's some questions in it that we would love to get perspectives on. So we definitely would take a couple calls today at some point during the segment.
Tell them how to do that.
You can do so by calling in to the Sauter-Heyman Honda of Lincoln. Honda of Lincoln hotline at 402-464-5685 is where you can do that. All of our guests as well can call in on our Allo VIP line, and that is we're on channel 951 on Allo as well. Sauter-Heyman is the video stream that we use, and we thank you for their support, but we also thank who?
Thank Mary Ellen's Food for the
Soul. Thank you, Charles, and Sonia up there at 27th and Pine Lake is where you can find them right there in the plaza on the left-hand side by Red Robin. That is a great place to be. The food is actually lovely and scrumptious. I definitely before the weekend end, I'm going to go out there and get a hold of some of them hot wings once again, which is that Southern sweet heat. Yes.
Do it. Get yourself down there as well. Tell them we sent you. Tell me they're supporting On the Block. Support those who support us. We really appreciate it. Short first segment. Had a good conversation in the crossover with the happy hour crew. The news of the night last night, Strick, was the first 4 Husker football players with single-digit jersey numbers were announced. I believe that's something that was voted on by the team, kind of approved by the coaches, signifying who's tough, who are the leaders on the team. The 4 players, Billy Kemp IV, Jeff Sims, Luke Reimer, and Isaac Gifford. When you look at that list, anything stand out to you?
Kemp.
Okay.
That was when I heard Kemp's name, it was very surprising. Here's why. he's had time now to be a part of the program, to be in the locker room, to show his character and who he is, where his heart is. Get in the weight room, show support, perform on and off the field. He's got an opportunity to do that. It's surprising when you have a new guy, a new face that comes in and is able to do that in a short span of time, as a transfer portal recruit. So I was really I really felt good about that. And it also shows you that there's no favoritism. There's nobody that they're playing favorites to, whether it be the coaching staff, because the coaching staff has to agree to it, or that they're that everybody is just all in for each other. It doesn't matter, there's no clicking. You sometimes you get clicks, and so then you get a voting block that kind of operates in a cliquish type of manner, but that's beautiful to see.
I agree. And when you see Billy Kemp getting that number and another transfer in Jeff Sims as the quarterback, I think that's a good sign. Because I don't think this was a strictly coach decision. I think this was player led with coach input as well. So I think the team has gravitated to Jeff Sims. He's put in the work as a leader, at least to this point. I think that's a good sign. But when you see guys in their first year in the program come in as transfers and get that, that's rare. Usually it takes time to build that sort of relationship, that trust with your teammates, put all that work in.
Why not Marcus Washington? You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Trey Palmer wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I think that's beautiful because he's been here, he's been established. Why not him? So that shows you that he's putting in the time, he's putting in the work, he's doing the, I think something we talked about yesterday on the show when we were still doing some of the finalizations of the show out there at Tiburon. Jay asked a question, and I talked about how the preparations are all done at certain points of time throughout, whether it be in the spring and in the summer, you have those preparations. But who is separating? We talked about separation. How are you going to separate yourself from those who are doing the same things? There are people that work hard, but then there are people that go the extra mile to do more, that are willing to stay longer, whether put in the more time, whether they're studying film, how they're grading out. You're getting somebody's doing a little bit more than you. And if they are, then that means don't be surprised when they show up and they're prepared for the moment and they execute because they did more in the preparation process. So I think that's beautiful that, he's been able to show and prove that.
Those are the two guys on the offensive side. They remind me a lot of, Darian Daniels being named the captain as he transfers in from Oklahoma State. Kenny talked about him and his impact in 1 year at Nebraska on the defense. Trey Neal, a safety, and Scott Frost first year, the impact he made as a bridge guy. But on that defensive side, Strick, you have two, homegrown Huskers. You have Luke Reimer at the linebacker position and Isaac Gifford at the Rover.
Love that for Isaac Gifford. Go ahead.
That's what
Love
I was
that
say.
for him.
Reimer worked his way up into leading tackler, all Big Ten caliber performer. Gifford's still ascending, right? Yeah, I get it. Reimer's got to stay healthy, but I think Gifford is still on the way up. And the way you've heard the coaches talk about him and even the players respect his leadership, that's awesome for a couple kids out of Lincoln.
I think that, and I think also last year, getting the film on him last year was huge because I think in essence, there was a position that was created because of just trying to figure out where he was. He wasn't necessarily a shutdown, lockdown cornerback who can be thrown out on an island. He was good enough to cover guys in the slot, or also guys maybe out of the tight end or out of the backfield. Got great feet, hits hard, is willing to come up and support on the run. He did a lot of that. So an extra position was kind of created. So when you come in with this 3-3-5, it's similar, it's still there, but it allows him to continue to operate in the way that he operated, and he's just thrived in that position. I'm just so happy for him and proud for him.
It's a 3-3-5, but maybe it's a 3-3-1-4. With that rover position, they can bring him up in the box. They can use him as another safety.
Maybe rush him similar to kind of like they did with Terrell Farley,
Jamel
Williams, and those guys. Kind of let him come off the edge a little bit. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
muddy it up, mess it up, throw wrinkles, and just kind of have coverages that are gonna. I'm really excited to see what this 3-3-5 is going to do. I've watched some film on it. I got a chance to kind of look at a little bit of how it works, how it operates. And I think you can do some interesting things, but it's going to start up front. It's got to start up front, Austin. The up front guys are going to have to be able to know how to take on two. Like they're going to be dogs. They got to be dogs in the middle. They got to be able to hit gaps hard, slant real hard, get in there, occupy space to allow the linebackers to be able to run and rover like they want to. So it's going to be interesting.
It just makes me wonder who's next, right? Because you have if they use number 0, they have 10 numbers, but if they go 1 through 9, they have 5 left. Billy Kemp wearing number 1, Gifford number 2, Luke Reimer number 4, which someone on the text line, Bryce, said Reimer taking number 4 as a linebacker, big shoes to fill. Levante David, of course, best known for wearing that number 4, and then Jeff Sims wearing 7. So maybe tomorrow we get into who's next in the single digits. Who do you want to see step up? Is it someone on the offensive line, defensive line? Is it a skill position guy? Maybe that's a conversation for some other day. But we're going to keep the college football train rolling, Strick, but turn our focus to postseason. Maybe not from a Nebraska standpoint this year necessarily, but the college football playoff. Expanding from 8 to 12, is that the right move? What's the best format for the college football playoff moving forward? Let us know your thoughts, 402-464-5685. Strick and I will dive into that next.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit of a national championship, featuring interviews with former players as well as famous fans like Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Opening in theaters on August 11th, visit daybydaymovie.com for details.
Harvest will be here before we know it, which means it's time to get those combines ready. Landmark Implement invites you to join them at your local combine clinic. They'll be covering S-Series combines August 7th in Hebron, 8th in Gothenburg, 9th in Hastings, or 10th in Kearney, and the new X9 model the 11th in Kearney. When you attend one of Landmark's combine clinics, you'll learn about maintenance, cab controls and calibrations, combine technology, and how Operations Center can help increase your farm profits. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for a complete combine clinic schedule, or visit your local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to hnhroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Red!
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alexa, Play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, Sunday Family Fun Days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're here on the block talking college football in hour number 1 and some tie-ins in hour 2, of course. But Strick, we turn our attention from Nebraska football jersey numbers in just a sec. A couple things on the text line. Big Bird asks, would they hand out duplicates? And how do the linemen earn their single digits they can't wear? That's something I think will have to be taken into consideration, because you hope that your linemen, are leaders and the toughest ones, the hardest workers, so they have a chance to earn them. But yeah, they can't wear them on the field, even if they do earn them.
Yeah, because they have to be at a certain
50s to 70s.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, maybe you could still wear them at practice to signify, but I think you'd want to still leave it available because you have a lot of players on the team.
Right.
I sometimes was still thrown off by the fact that offensive and defensive players have the same numbers.
That's the next question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they hand out duplicates? I don't know.
Well, I know they do.
Well, yeah, they'll have to, given the number of players on the team.
Yeah, I know there'll be a 20 on offense and a 20 on defense. It's weird, but because I'm like, dang, it's been a few years now. I think it's been about 5 years or so, maybe 6, where I caught it. I was like, wait, they got the same number. It was kind of throwing me off, but yeah, it happens. Just because there's just too many players.
Right, and you can't have two people with the same jersey number on the field at the same time. So that's where you see, in very rare cases, one player will switch jerseys, like hands team, for onside kicks or even Hail Mary attempts. That's really the situation you see those in. But turning our attention, Strick, to the college football playoff, set to expand from 4 to 12 teams in the near future.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I understand the expansion of it, but I think now that things have kind of changed a little bit. And what I mean by change, with the fall of the Pac-12, it now looks as if things are heading towards super conferences. This is something we had talked about way back. Sometimes I said I personally felt this is where it got, but I personally was off because I thought it would have been Pac-12 stay. I thought Big 12 was in trouble.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is Big 12 emerges. You have teams of Kansas State comes out of the woodworks. TCU ends up playing very well. And then it just seems as if the Pac-12 wasn't performing to the level of what probably could have kept them in the race. In the football side of things, they just kind of fell off. Stanford used to be pretty good. Washington was supposed to be pretty good. Oregon was dominant for a while. UCLA started to kind of come back, and UCLA's dominant. So they really were the only one. And then once they come our way, that changes that dynamic. And so now it leaves you in a like quagmire of trying to figure it out. So now the Pac-12 falls, Big 12 emerges. Now you've got super conferences. That change kind of throws me off, Austin, a little bit regarding the expansion of the playoff system from 8 to 12.
From 4 to 12.
I'm sorry, from 4 to 12.
Yeah.
So from 4 to 12, that throws me off now, because now it would be totally loaded with super conference teams and the little boys and babies of listen, I'm just talking crazy. That's just a crazy talk. But in essence, the smaller conferences and teams would literally be left out, because you would be looking at probably three to four in each of those conferences, throwing an ACC, maybe 2 Big 12, and then the beat up teams find their way in towards the bottom half of it. The Cincinnati's and the Houstons and, you know,
UCF,
so
yeah.
you know, and I
or
don't
your
think
10
that's
and
fair.
2, 9 and 3 power conference teams, which
Yeah. See, that's weird. But I wanted to throw that to you, because now I think that change to super conferences have changed my mind about going to 12.
Yeah, I was always a proponent of go to 8. I really like the 8-team setup more than I did the 12.
Why?
Unless they were going to play games on campus, right? I love games on campuses, especially in the postseason, right? You're a higher seed, you get to travel. The issue that I saw with that was, well, if it's 12, do teams 1, 2, 3, and 4 get a home game too? Right? Because you'd have to play essentially 2 rounds of home games. So, you know, 5 hosts 12, 6, 11, 7, 10, and 8, 9.
And then
you know,
1 through 4 get buys.
1 through 4 get buys. And then you would probably do, you know, 1 versus winner of 8, 9, or maybe 5, 12 down the line, whatever. But I thought 8 was a lot cleaner when we had 5 power conferences, right? You have the 5 automatic bids for the conference champion. You have your group of 5 champion who you have to throw a bone to. Then you have room for 2 at larges. I thought that math made a lot more sense and didn't water it down that much. What I'm wondering now is, again, is 8 better? Because let's say you have 4 power conferences, such as they are. You have your Big 10 champion, your SEC champion, your Big 12 champion, and then probably still your ACC champion. Okay, so there's 4 right there. At this point, Strick, I don't know who the best brand in the group of 5 remaining is.
Yeah.
And it seems like we're kind of split away as a, you know, power conference entity away from the group of 5. So I don't think they get thrown that bone. So you're still at 4. So that leaves you the 4 champions and then 4 at larges.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine, because Notre Dame will fight all it can for at large bids, as it should, as an independent.
But can they schedule enough now? Go ahead. I want to hear that, because let's just pause right there, because I like where you went. Can they schedule with big conference now, without them joining conference? Can they schedule enough of power conference games, top tier games, or do they just keep the USC type games, those games in effect? Maybe Michigan. Do they keep those type of games? But that's 2 Big 10 teams. They need to probably get down in the SEC realm and fight a couple of those in order to maintain a higher enough value.
They haven't done that consistently, and I think it's going to be easier to make an 8 or a 12 team playoff than it is a 4.
Yeah.
What they've been doing has been working, and they can still play, you know, the service academies from time to time. They can sneak in a game against a Marshall in a somewhat regional game, but they can still go play Stanford, UCLA, Michigan. I think that I'm less worried about the scheduling for Notre Dame personally.
Yeah.
But what I still think 8 teams is the way to go for the playoff, but it's not going to get smaller, Strick. It's not going to get smaller. So
Craig, we're going to get to you, man. Just hold on. Stay there. We don't want to lose you, but I want Austin to finish his thought for real quick. So hold on the line.
So I guess a couple thoughts. Number 1, 12 teams. How long do we stick with 12? And number 2, once we move past 12, what do we get to?
See, my thing is, and here we come, Craig. My thing real quick on that is I think 8 is best. You go 8 before you go 12, because you can't really go back.
Right.
Once you open the can of worms on that, go to 12, there's really nowhere else to go.
Right.
I think it's still a watered down version at 12, because I think the powers of the conferences then begin to take over and dominate that. So I'll leave it at that. Craig
on the Honda of Lincoln Hotline. What you got?
Hi, guys. So I guess I'm wondering is if the ACC gets pillaged and they're down to 5 teams, and where does Notre Dame sit with if all these conferences go to 9-game, 10-game schedule conference games only, no out of conference. Notre Dame doesn't have anybody to play. They play the MAC, the NEAC, the Podunk, this, that, and the other. And it's the same thing as, UCF saying we won the national championship playing in a horrible conference. Notre Dame's going to be in a spot someday, might be 5, 6, 7 years from now. Nobody wants to play them. I guess I'm curious where that all fits.
And that was the same thing I was saying. I was saying, once we get there, that's going to create a problem and some trouble. That was part of my issue with it. But let's throw this out with Bryce, because this is also part of what I was saying in my rebuttal of that is all Notre Dame. Bryce on the Sutter Heyman text line says all of ND or Notre Dame big rivals are in the Big Ten. Why they don't just join remains one of the biggest mysteries in college sports. I know that one.
It's really not a mystery because they like their position.
They like their independence.
They do. They value that more than they value extra millions of dollars to this point. And again, like I was saying, when this whole realignment thing went down, maybe we need more of that in college sports. But that's really been Notre Dame's stance, is as long as there's access to the college football playoff for an independent, for at-larges, they will remain independent. And here's the thing. I really don't see them having as big a problem, right? I mean, we know the SEC plays that FCS school in week 11, 12, 13, right, at the end of the year. Notre Dame is a big enough brand in a big enough game that, again, even if you have 2 non-conference games only, if you go to a 10-game conference schedule, especially for a Big 10 team or even a Big 12 team, if you say, hey, we got Notre Dame on the schedule, no one's going to say, no, you can't do that. Why? That's a huge TV game automatically. So I don't think Notre Dame's going to have any trouble. Besides, so many of these conference games are going to start feeling like non-conference games as it is.
Where I would throw this out, and I know we've got to go to break in shortly, but where I would throw this out is I would say Notre Dame is not going to feel the pinch until they get pinched out. The minute they get pinched out, because if they go to 8 and they get pinched out at 8 because they're not able to generate enough of noise, maybe they can't get into the SEC. Maybe the SEC don't want to touch them because for what, there are going to be teams in some of these super conferences. I think they could probably get more Big 12 games than they probably could any of the other ones. And the reason I say this is because the Big 12 games are going to look at it as resume. The others are going to look at it like, shoot, my resume is in this conference. You know what I mean? I don't need them. If they get pinched out, that's when they're, I think, change their mindset and they start going hunting for a conference to join.
I think so too. Craig, Craig, they're not going to play only conference games, right? The conferences are huge, but you're not going to go to a purely conference schedule. You will still have some crossover.
Yeah.
And again, Notre Dame is a big enough brand. They're not going to get left behind. The bigger worry isn't necessarily for Notre Dame. To me, it's more what Strick is saying, where, hey, my resume is good enough without scheduling Notre Dame. Maybe that's just rephrasing what you're saying, but I think they're two different concerns.
Mm-hmm.
But Notre Dame having NBC as a TV partner, NBC being a TV partner with the Big Ten, will get Notre Dame Big Ten games.
Yeah.
That Notre Dame will continue to play ACC teams until the ACC dissolves. They're still going to have a schedule.
Feel me, Austin. Feel me on this before we go to break. Big tier team, top tier teams in mega conferences will play Notre Dame because they want to beat up on them. Mid to lower tier teams at the bottom will take Notre Dame because they want to raise their profile, because that big game to them gets them the views, the visuals, the recruiting potentially that they want to be able to raise themselves up in the conference. I could be wrong, but that's just something to where I could see them scheduling those at the middle to the bottom. Big 12 will take them. Will want to battle them. Middle to lower tiers will want to raise their profile. Top tiers will say we want to beat up on them, just because we're gonna get the views. I think this is probably how that may play out, because I don't think they're going to be able to get the talent enough. We've seen that over the years. Every time they get in, they get their head drubbed by top tier teams. They just get drubbed because they just don't have the talent pool.
Yes, I see where you're coming from, but also they get there, right?
Yeah.
Even with less talent, they still get to
there.
the playoffs,
Facts.
and they have. So I think that's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Recruiting is good enough to make it. Recruiting isn't good enough to win it. So that to me is more a question of what's Notre Dame's ceiling? What are they able to accomplish? And I think that leads into that. But we got to play the shootout. Now they're back in studio. We're going to do that.
We got to play that.
We got to play that. $30 to Buffalo.
You might get me today. You might get me today.
We're doing college football playoff.
They might win today. So if you want the stricken, you might want to jump in today because I got mush mind.
402-464-5685. Take on Strick in trivia. We'll play the game next.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HandHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha. You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627. Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced, with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports score for yourself and your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What happens when students come to school every day on time and ready to learn? They improve academically, become more responsible, manage their time well, and learn the value of education. Whether your child is starting preschool or preparing to graduate, family support and a great attitude towards education is important. Help your child come to school every day ready to learn. Make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
That it is the Shootout with Strick for $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. And we can waste no time. We can jump right in as we go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline to welcome our contestant, Dave. How's it going today, Dave?
I'm ready.
Excellent. Strick, are you ready? Is the real question.
Mush mind.
Oh, boy. All right, Dave, hold on. We'll give Strick his questions, and then we'll get to you. College football playoff trivia. And Strick, when I say college football playoff game, it involves one single game. It can be either a semifinal or the national championship.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll be in a single college football playoff game, either one.
Either one.
Okay. Just clearing that up before we go. Your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He had the most rushing attempts in a single college football playoff game. Ezekiel Elliott or Najee Harris?
Najee.
It's Zeke. He had the most passing yards in a single college football playoff game. Mac Jones or Joe Burrow?
Joe.
It was Joe. He had the most total tackles in a single CFP game. Tough Borland or Roquan Smith?
Roquan.
It was Tough. And named one of the top
Great
4
name.
teams in the very first college football playoff rankings.
All time?
Yep, the first
two.
First rankings.
Alabama, LSU, LSU.
It was named one of the teams.
Oh.
I'll give you another shot at it so we can explain the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the very first college football
All
playoff
time.
rankings, the first rankings that came out.
Of all time, when it first
When
started.
it first came out.
Okay.
Name one of the top 4 teams.
Alabama.
Alabama is incorrect.
You sucker. You snookered me on that one.
I gave you extra time to explain it.
Oklahoma.
You get one guess. Tricky. Stop.
Okay, I'm out of there. Let's go.
Okay, Dave, you need 1 to tie. You need 2 or more to win. Are you ready for your round of the shootout?
Told you I was off today. Dave, you popped in at the right time today, Dave. I told you I was out of there today.
Well, don't call the chickens before they lay the egg.
All right, Dave, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He rushed for the most yards of any quarterback in a college football playoff game. Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun.
Yep. He had the most receptions in a single CFP game. Justin Jefferson or Devontae Smith?
Devontae.
It was Jefferson. This team had the most sacks in a single college football playoff game. Clemson or Alabama?
Clemson.
It was Clemson, and name one of the top 4 teams in the very first college football playoff rankings.
Oklahoma.
It is not Oklahoma. Strick tried to trick you. It doesn't matter.
Boom, shakalaka.
Give me a hell yeah.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
Doggone it. I knew when he got the Clemson when I was like, don't say Clemson, don't say Clemson.
Yep. Clemson had 6. Alabama had 5 in a game. Dave, congrats on the win. Hold on the phone. We'll get your information. That very first playoff ranking streak came back in 2014. Your top 4 teams, your 4 options:
Texas.
Mississippi State with Dak, Florida State, fresh off the national championship the year before with Jameis, Auburn, and Ole Miss.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Rounding out the top 10, Oregon at 5, Bama was 6, TCU 7, Michigan State 8, Kansas State 9, Notre Dame 10.
That was a good one. That was a good question. Also, you know what? You do a great job with the questioning. I must say. You know, there's a couple of tricky ones that throw me off a little bit. You know, they got a little bit of, twisters on me in my mind, but it's okay. I like it. You're the man.
We're going to ask this just for fun, since Rico's not in here. The tiebreaker question: how many different schools have appeared in the college football playoff? How many different schools have appeared in the college football playoff?
Eight.
8 is the answer Strick gives. Text line, let us know, 402-464-5685, over or under. I'm sure there's something to give away.
I'll donate a gift card. I'll pay the station for a gift card for you if you're able to beat Stricky. Now
to Buffalo Wings and
Rings?
Rings?
To Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Over under 8 schools in the CFP. That's your prize. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. This is On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket. Plenty to get into in hour 2 of the show. We'll head there next.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info, or call 402-467-1627.
Vershawn Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrantExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brand!
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you ready to upgrade your combine? Don't wait. Act now to choose from the widest selection of used combines at Acres Equipment. Acres, Nebraska's leading John Deere combine dealer, is offering 2.9% interest for 60 months on over 100 pre-owned combines. Each combine includes our A-plus uptime program to keep you running flawlessly throughout harvest season. Go to acres.com to view a huge inventory of low-hour, late-model equipment. Find what you like, and we'll deliver it to your farm for free. Acres, solutions for every field.
This is Bud Steinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies. There's a slight chance of storms later in the day. We'll see a high of around 89. Tonight, we'll see a chance of storms early, then mostly clear skies and a low of around 67. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of storms. We'll see a high of around 93. The meteorologist Kyle Cook from 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. He's going to go out of here. The Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Rick and Austin.
Hour 2 On the Block. I'm Austin Norman. More importantly, he's Eric Strickland. Plenty to talk about in hour number 2. Good, fun, college football-focused first hour. We looked at the college football playoff. We looked at Huskers with single-digit uniforms. If you missed any of it, check it out on the podcast, wherever it is you get it. Or if you don't want to do the podcast, all our broadcasts are archived on social media. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter have those for you. Thanks to our friends at Sartor Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring the live stream, and Allo. They sponsor our VIP line, but you can also watch the shows, any of your favorite ticket shows, on Channel 951. And of course, Strick, we heard it in the open, the title sponsor of this program, the main sponsor, the main man, Charles and Mary Ellen's.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Make sure you go out to 27th and Pine Lake, check in on them, check out the food. They do buffet, they do catering. They also do pop in, get it to go. And you can also sit down and observe the ambiance. It is a beautiful little quaint little spot right there. I think he needs to expand all the business that they're getting out there at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Keep up the good work, Charles, and all the work that you guys do out there.
Yes, please. You make many people happy. You give us a show. We greatly appreciate it. Some business to take care of before we move on with our show. We asked the question, Strick, how many schools have made or qualified for the college football playoff? Your number, your guess was 8? 8. A little bit short. So the over is what hits. The winner of that, we're going to give it to One-Eyed Ray. He guessed 13 just off the hip. Very close. The correct answer is 14 schools. Let's go through the list here straight. Let's see if you can name them all. I have the list pulled up in terms of number of appearances in the college football playoff. So 14 schools. Can you name them all? We'll go down the list.
Let's go with Cincinnati,
Cincy,
LSU, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma,
halfway home.
USC.
Nope. No USC.
Somebody in the SEC. Oh shoot. Oh, Florida State.
Florida State.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Did I say them? Okay. Was that 10?
Yep, 4 to go.
Sheesh. TCU.
TCU.
Oh, I said that. Did I say that?
Nope. You got it.
Dang. Somebody. Oregon.
2 to go.
Nebraska.
Not yet. Not yet.
Ohio State.
You said them.
Michigan. I mean Michigan State.
Michigan State. One more.
Jeez.
One more.
Man. Auburn.
Not Auburn. Washington.
Washington got it.
Mm-hmm. Washington got
I don't remember them.
The third playoff in 2016. Mm-hmm.
Uh.
So yeah, Alabama has the most appearances with 7, Clemson with 6, Ohio State 5, Oklahoma 4. Georgia has made it 3 times, made it to the championship game each time. Notre Dame twice, Michigan the last 2. Everyone else on the list has made it 1 time. LSU made the most of their run. They've been in the college football playoff once, and they won the whole thing back in 2019. Oregon made it once, made it to the championship game before losing to Zeke Elliott and Ohio State. TCU made its first appearance last year, and everyone else that's made it 1 time only made the semis. So that first game, Florida State, Michigan State, Washington, and Cincinnati.
Right.
There's your history.
Wow. It was man, I forgot Washington. I
I did
Chris
not. Peterson.
That's crazy. Okay, well, shoot. I was close.
Well done.
There Thunder Not Collins said rigged.
Rigged?
It's not. You were close. You were there, Thunder Not Collins, but you only gave 11 teams, and we just decided, since everybody kind of popped in with the correct answer, we just were going to go with the one that gave the closest in a short span of time. Like we didn't want
time to work through it, Thunder Not.
Yeah, we didn't want to have somebody to start just kind of looking it up and figuring it out. And so we kind of went with who came early in the conversation, and that guess was pretty close, so we went with it.
That it was.
Yeah.
Again, 402-464-5685 if you have any college football playoff thoughts or thoughts on our next topic, Strick, one that we talked a little bit with the guys in the happy hour about, and that's gambling. Before we get back into Phil Mickelson, I want to lead off with ESPN getting into sports betting. Penn, the sportsbook, is rebranding with ESPN, so just changing a couple letters around, really one letter, I guess. So they're getting into sports betting as the mothership, as the evil empire. That doesn't necessarily sit right with me. Given how much reporting ESPN does, they can say they're going to keep it separate, and they can say, they're going to have integrity and it's not going to impact their coverage. But Strict, they have their own sportsbook. They have to understand what they choose to report on and what they choose not to report on. How much airtime they give something affects people's lives now when they're putting money on it. I don't like ESPN getting into sports games.
But let's just be real about it. ESPN is hemorrhaging. So when you're hemorrhaging the way that you are in a business model, we're not going to get into the reasons why. We're not going to get into the any particulars as to our perspective on how they're falling off the wagon. We're just going to say that they're hemorrhaging. So much so that Disney is even trying to figure out how to separate, right, at this point. You look at them and you know that this is the case because partners that have been together for so long are now no longer together. Faces that you have seen for years are no longer a part of it. They're looking for new blood, new people to kind of enter into the fray. But on top of that, they're trying to figure out how to generate more. What better way to generate kind of wash and, throw in on a hodgepodge of large incomes coming in at different times. Yes, you're going to have to pay some stuff out, but there's a lot more people probably that lose and win, so they're trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding, how they can get another revenue model or stream without having to pay so many in salaries of guys that have been there for so long. They're trying to shrink the, those who are working under their the ESPN logo, and trying to figure out how to raise more revenue so that their bottom lines change a little bit from what it is. That's what I think it's coming
Are you
from.
saying we should have seen this coming?
It's kind of like this. Think about businesses that have begun, that have been spawns or have been one-offs of something that have hit a mark. Think about how oil reserves, somebody hits, and guess what?
Other people,
everybody comes flying into the space trying to figure out how to get leases on land. You can't get it at the spot, but you can get it around. So you're trying to see how you can tap in. That happens all the time. The DraftKings and who else out there? All these other types of sport, they've been hitting. They've been big. They're big on advertising. You see them everywhere. They're hitting. You've seen little runoffs, but they haven't been as big, but they're still doing pretty well. So the big fish says, how can I get into the big pond and start making a lot of this big cash while it's hot? You know what I mean? So I don't know if we can say we can see it coming, but we should have guesstimated that it was something that they would try to jump into, especially with how things are going in that realm.
They have TV shows on it. They have segments on it on different, non-betting focused shows. They're bringing someone in to be a betting analyst on College Game Day now, which again, Strick, like we've talked about, makes it even trickier for, collegiate student athletes.
Oh, yeah.
This is where I want to flip the conversation back to Phil Mickelson, because we're talking about it from the football aspect right there. Phil Mickelson didn't play football. He's not playing football professionally. He's a golfer.
Yeah.
Who put, according to his former business partner,
how much?
Bill.
Billion?
Billion.
Wait. Million?
Billion.
With a B.
Billion. With a B.
Was that a what are they called when you have a error in the writing? Is that what do they call that? When they have an error in the writing and it's no, when there's like you're writing something and there's
typo?
Yeah. So
No.
was that a typo?
No, billion.
No typo.
No typo.
That's he's worth $1 billion?
Maybe it's added up to $1 billion over the course of his career.
Good gosh almighty. Phil Mickelson. I'm a good friend of Live Golf and the golfing bunch. I golf myself. I went out yesterday. Phil Mickelson, if you want to reach out to me, if you're going to give away $1 billion with a B, I'd be happy to take some of that cashola and distribute for you in the right way.
It can go to a better place.
Wow. Okay. So
there's that aspect of it.
Okay.
Phil, hope you get help. Hope you stopped. Apparently, at one day Strick, Phil placed 43 bets on Major League Baseball, lost 143 grand.
And you thought Michael Jordan was bad.
You thought.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into that. $1 billion. So here's
dating back like 10, 15 years.
I'm still trying to get my head around $1 billion. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the question. I don't want to deal with the just particular aspect and get in a silo only of the gambling. I want to kind of throw this out there and yeah, we do have enough time because I really want to ask this question to you guys on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. You're welcome to call in if you do have a take on this at 402-464-5685, because I want to take a different take on that. It's when I look at it from this standpoint, I look at it from a difference of sports as far as team sports and individual sports. Because to me, it seems like if I'm going to step into the boxing ring and I believe that I'm about to knock somebody out, this is a bet on me. I don't know. Is it more look down the front? This is the question I have. So you guys are willing to talk about it and add on to it. Is it more frowned upon? Because we all went in on Pete Rose, right? Is it more frowned upon if you're an individual, if you're running track and you're like, I'm the fastest man on earth, and I believe I'm about to do this and I might break the record, and if I do it, I'm betting on it. And you do that, right? And you go out and do it. Do you deserve to be paid on it? Is that something, otherwise you lose your money? I mean, so is it more frowned upon if it's an individual sports like boxing, UFC, you step in the octagon, golf, track, anything like
tennis
that?
Even.
Right. Or is it more frowned upon as a team sport? I like your thoughts. Text line also, jump in if you'd like to as well. How do you view it? Do you look down more upon it on a team side as opposed to an individual?
I think the bigger examples we have are on the team side, from the various college point shaving scandals to the 1919 Chicago Black Sox in the World Series. I think
did the Red Sox do it too with the go between the legs when they had the game against the Mets?
No.
I thought that might have been a shaving.
Okay.
There's a lot of gangsters up there in Boston. No, okay, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I think it's harder to throw team sports because you need more people in on the trick. One guy, I think one guy can have an outsized impact on a basketball game, or
could you take a fall though in like boxing, like
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
it's harder to get away with, I think, if you're going to be point shaving in a team sport, because we can look all across individual sports and say that's fishy. What's going on there?
You look at the other angle. He missed the punch. You just fell down. No, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's easier to do, but I also think that based on the culture of those individual sports, where for so long, especially as you're being trained, it's competing against myself, right? Yeah, you're running against, 7 other guys, 7 other gals in track, to some degree. Yeah, it's one-on-one, and there's someone across from you in the ring, but so much of your training is you against yourself. And think about all the stories we have, Strick, of boxers and UFC fighters, even, track runners coming from nothing. They have nothing. They have to bet on themselves. They've just gotten so used to it. And now they have the chance to actually put some money on themselves. Again, I see less of a problem with that than I do betting against yourself for obvious reasons. But if you can't bet against yourself, I think it also stands to reason that you shouldn't be able to bet for yourself just because it can look funky.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, Austin. And here's, because you see it in the movies all the time, right? The guy approaches them and says, hey, we need you to take this fall in the 3rd round, blah, blah, blah. So is that the same thing? Even though you're not necessarily betting on yourself, you're still a part of the scheme of the bet, because in a certain round, there's obviously more money paid by you going down in certain rounds, and there's more money paid by. So if somebody else is betting on you to do this, is it still more shady? Which one is more shady? That's what I mean. Betting on yourself to win, or is it more shady to kind of play along in the betting scheme of things, and then also get paid on the backside? I just think it's funny. Go ahead.
It's that last part, the getting paid on the backside, because if you're betting against yourself, I put it in quotes there, you probably didn't actually put any money down, but someone who did.
Yeah.
And since they're going to put a lot down on you to lose, they're getting paid out. They had that inside information or knew that you'd play along. So you get that kickback, even if it's not officially on the books or not trackable, through the app.
Right. And so it's dangerous. I mean, also you've got to look at, are the officials, we saw the Donaghy situation. We've heard about that. Are the officials involved? Is the boxing officials involved? Because I've seen some boxing matches and I'm like looking at those scorecards, Austin. I'm saying, wait a minute. Are they watching the same? I'm not a professional referee in that space, but good gosh, I can see That man got beat the brakes off of him in this fight. How the heck did you even come to a draw? Like, how did you even come to a split decision, let alone taking it from the guy?
And that's where I think, Strick, we have to assume innocent until proven guilty. Like,
Yeah.
there's one person that can read their thoughts and know their hearts. It's not us. So we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But whenever there's an official involved, whenever there's subjective scoring involved, there's always going to be that question for the loser. Oh, come on. That's not what the scorecard was. Oh, I landed more. It's hard to judge in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And as neutral observers, again, we can't see into these guys' hearts or heads. We don't know their business going on behind the scenes. You hope there's none of it, of course. But that's on top of, it's difficult as it is to subjectively judge this as accurately as you can in an event like this. Calling balls and strikes when guys are throwing 100 miles an hour is hard. You know, trying to peer through 1,700 pounds of human mass to see if it's a holding call or not is difficult. Like, we get that. So the reason that the gambling aspect adds even more to, hey, let's just not do it, is it's already hard enough. There are already enough questions as is. Let's not give there any room for any other questions to be raised.
And then I also look at it from a standpoint of when I look at, games and whatnot, I think about how can, after the aftermath, like, how can you look at yourself, just being a competitor. So I then look at the sport itself. And then you start to look at the language. You go back and look at the history of the sport, and you start to see that it was actually a sport. So in sports, the winner is dictated by who was the better of the two. Then the language changed at some point. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm spitballing. I just want to have the conversation. Then the language changed, and it turns into an industry. So no longer it's a sport, but it's called entertainment. This is where wrestling has become entertainment. So now you have football, you have basketball, you have them that are under the purview of entertainment. Doing that means things can be shifted. Things may not play out as the way. So I'm not saying that this is the case. Please don't say I'm just saying that we know WWE is entertainment. If you have that same language and lingo in these sports, could it be possible? This is where Donahue comes in and those type of conversations and kind of has you say, is this going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just throwing it out.
Another aspect of this as we, start bringing this conversation to a close, Drake, is I don't think as many athletes as we would like to think are wired like you. True competitor, lay it all out on the line every night, right? I think there are more guys who are easily tempted by this because, and you can, again, you're the pro athlete, you've been in the locker rooms, you know guys' headspace is better than I do. But from this perspective, my perspective, I think the types of athletes that are most likely to get caught up in gambling to some degree are athletes that are, number one, bored, have a lot of money, don't know what to do with it. Hey, let's throw a few beans over here. Number two, desperate. Guys that are hanging on, trying to maximize it while they can, know they're going to be out of the league anyway, so if they can make some quick money and then get kicked out of the league because they weren't going to play anyways. Or three, the ones that are, I don't know if I want to say uninformed, but don't have a grasp of the ramifications. Rookies, that maybe got away with it in college, here or there, come into the league, they get found out. Oh, I didn't realize that's what the ramification was.
Yeah.
I don't think there are many athletes who are scheming, trying to get rich in betting. I think the true competitors that are there for the sport are the ones that will lay their efforts on the line, not put their money on the line. Those three groups, though, are the ones I think more often are the ones that get caught up in betting.
Yeah. No,
that's
fair to say. I think you hit the nail on the head right there on that one. And you have some text questions that came in. Maybe we'll get to some of those on the other side of the break, but we do have to take a break. Wow, time has just kind of flown by. Great discussion, though. We know we didn't get a chance to take a call on that one, but definitely would like to get to your text questions there or thoughts that you guys had there, because we did say we would do that. 93.7 The Ticket. We are on the block. We'll be right back after a few messages.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
IT projects piling up again? Managing IT can definitely be frustrating. Whether you have an in-house IT department or you manage it yourself, let Hamilton be your experts. At Hamilton, we take the frustration out of your business tech issues with managed IT solutions. We specialize in co-managed and fully managed IT. Does your business need better managed IT? Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you are loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies. There's a slight chance of storms later in the day. We'll see a high of around 89. Tonight, we'll see a chance of storms early, then mostly clear skies and a low of around 67. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of storms. See a high of around 93. The meteorologist Kyle Puck from 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you ready to upgrade your combine? Don't wait. Act now to choose from the widest selection of used combines at Acres Equipment. Acres, Nebraska's leading John Deere combine dealer, is offering 2.9% interest for 60 months on over 100 pre-owned combines. Each combine includes our A-Plus Uptime program to keep you running flawlessly throughout harvest season. Go to acres.com to view a huge inventory of low-hour, late-model equipment. Find what you like, and we'll deliver to your farm for free. Acres, solutions for every field.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're here on the block, last half an hour or so of our show. Boss Man DP just popped in. He'll be a part of Old School. Jay Foreman coming in. You out golfed Jay yesterday, right?
I didn't get to hear how they said, they did 14 under. So he said they played pretty well. We played pretty good. We left some stuff out there. We had some putts that we probably could have made, should have made. Couple of eagles that we probably should have got. We were there. We just could knock them down. So, yeah, I think as a team, they probably played. I actually hit the ball pretty well. I mean, I drove the ball pretty well. We used some of my shots, hit some solid irons. I was surprised that I was able to hit them good late, because I was wore out by the time we hit, 15. I was wore out. I had my stogies, though, to kind of keep me energized.
Golf shape is a real thing. You're saying.
It's a real thing. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't think you can just go out and go 18 and just gonna be fine and dandy. Yeah, you feel it.
The physical grind, the mental grind.
It's all of that. It's shot after shot. There's a focus. There's a fine focus that you have to have. A mishit, a recovery shot. I mean, all of these things are in play if you don't want to have a big number. So it's draining.
That's golf shape. Talking about being in good shape as an athletic department, Ohio State spending a lot of money. One of the biggest budgets in college athletics year after year. Over the last 5 years, they've spent $1.04 billion, Phil Mickelson money, on college athletics. We bring this up because their athletic director, Gene Smith, announced yesterday he'll be stepping down in June of 2024, at the end of June, so probably right before the start of that 2025 fiscal year. USC, UCLA in the fold, Big Ten somewhat up and running, Oregon and Washington too. But Strick, as you and I were going back and forth about this, I love the angle that you took on it. What is that angle you want to throw out there?
So the angle, and then this is another question for you guys. I mean, you guys are hot, and I hate that I'm not able. Well, if we can, we may get to them. I'm going to be quick on this. My thoughts is, Austin, you have the biggest budget. Money is plentiful. NIL is no problem. Your ship is pretty much rolling, outside of the fact that Michigan has beat the brakes off of you the last 2 years in football, and that's something you need to address. But that's really not a you. That's a Ryan Day situation. That's not a you situation. You've got what you need, how you need it, and can do whatever you need to do to get it done at this point. My question is, with the expansion, with the growth, more money available, more money coming in by new revenues of the TV deal, what would lead somebody at this point? So I throw this out to you, 402-464-5685. You can call in, or you can also on the Honda Lincoln hotline, or you can also text us in, because I really want to know a thought. If you were the AD, if you was Gene Smith, this is the question to you. If you were Gene Smith and all of that is available to you, what would lead you to make a decision to want to give it all away?
It's a decision that maybe Ohio State people saw coming. I mean, Gene Smith's been doing the athletic director dance for a while, but on a lot of committees, very well-respected voice. In some respects, Strick, you mentioned the money, where Ohio State's situated. Seems like it would be a super easy job, right? Men's basketball's had its ups and downs. Baseball's had its ups and downs. Women's basketball ups and downs. But football's the moneymaker, and
volleyball's good.
Volleyball's good, right? Football's the moneymaker. It's in a powerful position. And I don't think it's up to Gene Smith to figure out how to stop the run.
No.
So I don't necessarily put those failures on him. But as easy as it might seem from the outside, it almost makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. What is Gene Smith doing, to keep everything running smoothly? What's his communication like with coaches on a day-to-day basis? One theory I have, Strick, before I get into the one I have maybe a few more thoughts on. So Sportico wrote an article about this, and Gene Smith talked to them saying his job has become 60 to 70% spent on revenue generation. Says his successor will have to be a strong entrepreneur. So as much money as Ohio State is spending, it sounds like the majority of Gene Smith's time is being spent glide-handing boosters, figuring out NIL with compliance and all that sort of stuff. Maybe he's tired of dealing with the money and wants more of the day-to-day. I don't know. That's just a theory. But 60 to 70% of his time spent on revenue generation,
Yeah.
that seems like a lot.
That is a lot. And Mississippi Mud Dog has a take on this. Gene Smith doesn't want to be the guy that has to fire Ryan Day because he can't beat Michigan. Now, that's just possibly that's a great take on it. Big Bird also throws out, I asked an OSU buddy about Ryan Day and the hot seat. Yeah, if he loses to Michigan, he is done. Dude has lost too many championship games lately, and the Michigan game, it's pretty much a wrap. So that's the sentiment that's going on. Is that something that Gene Smith have they gotten too close? Is this a relationship similar to some of the things that we found at the Golden State Warriors, where the decision didn't want to be made, and so you leave that to Dunleavy to be able to make those decisions on Klay Thompson, and you've had that closeness and you've generated that relationship. Is that something that's happening? I can also see your point too, that it could get dry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What is the new shiny object? What is the new thing? And there's possibility. Is there an upward movement available out there for him? Is there something else that's better? What could that be? Is it going to run a professional organization, or like an NFL organization, or is it something else out there that would make him interested to be able to make this move?
The step up for me, again, I don't know where Gene Smith's head is at. I don't know if this is feasible, but since the latest round of realignment broke, Strick, we've heard a lot of clamoring, a lot of commotion for football to separate from other sports, do its own thing, and let other sports, maintain those regional rivalries and regional feels. I feel somewhat confident saying there will be a college football playoff commissioner or a college football commissioner before too long. We have a chair of the college football playoff committee, but my guess is we're heading toward someone, not the NCAA, because, college football with its playoff system is off doing its own thing, not under NCAA purview.
So let me make sure I'm clear of hearing. Are you saying you think there'll be some form of leadership to head super conferences?
And how that's handled to some degree, yes.
Okay.
I think we're heading toward a college football version of Roger Goodell to some degree. I think there are a lot of names that could be thrown out there for that. Sankey comes to mind.
Okay.
Oliver Luck comes to mind. Why not Gene Smith? He's a really respected voice across college athletics. He's been at or near the forefront of a lot of Big Ten issues. Maybe Gene Smith has been working this behind the scenes. Maybe he has a role like this in mind. Just a thought.
And leaving early enough to prepare himself to be able to make the jump.
To have some years in it.
Yeah, sooner than later. I mean, hey, that's an interesting take. Let's see. Dirty Boys and the Boys says, is there a comparison to what Nebraska did to Frank Solich to what people are doing to Ryan Day currently? Do you see a comparison in that?
Probably.
I think
Ryan Day, though,
I think he's probably won a little bit.
Yeah.
More.
If Frank was going 9-3, Ryan Day's going 11-1.
Yeah.
Now, the one that he's losing
is big
huge. And how quickly we forget, they were leading Georgia in the college football playoff. Despite the loss to Michigan, they made it into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And they had Georgia by the schnutz.
Yeah.
Until Harrison Jr. goes out.
Yeah. Yes. If Harrison Jr. doesn't go out, I think they actually win that game.
So
that was
you can see both sides of that. Number one, they got in that position. Number two, maybe a better coach finds a way to pull them out of that tailspin. I don't know. But again, I don't think Ryan Day is necessarily to blame yet. Got stuff to clean up, but I think if you start heading down that Frank Solich path, that's a big step to take, especially Strick, what we're playing into with Gene Smith here. Whoever that next athletic director is might be the one to have to make that move.
Yeah.
And that's a huge seismic move. And we've seen what that's done.
Especially when you're coming in the first year, right?
Yep.
You're the first year guy coming in and you make the decision, you better make sure it's a good one. Like your replacements better be super on point. If you go down that slide, you could be out just as fast as you got in. That's the way I see it. I mean, those are seismic shifts, I think, in a program when you have that. Because guess what? Also, that new guy's going to probably come in. It puts the microscope on Ryan Day a little bit more. Any trick or any situation that doesn't fall in line with his viewpoint on it, it can happen quickly because you're going to want to get your guy, your decision guy in there and not be at the whim of who was actually made the decision on why he's still there, or didn't make the decision on why he should have went. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gene Smith is in his late 60s, early 70s, I want to say. Played college football from 73 to 77. So rough math would be, put that at 49, 23. Yeah, probably lower 70s. If my math is correct, don't hold me to that. But I think there's still a lot on the table that Gene Smith could do. And again, I think he's a respected voice and that carries some weight. But then, Strick, my next question is, where does that leave Ohio State? Are they too big to fail? Or if they do pull a Frank Solich in getting rid of Ryan Day with this new athletic director, could we see something similar happen to Ohio State? Are they big enough to withstand that? Or would that be enough stability to shake things up?
I think it's going to depend on what happens with Ohio State with the new additions. Him getting out before having to really make that decision, because I think it's going to play out depending on, one, what the divisions are going to look like and how that's going to pan out. You're at the whim of possibly having to deal not only with Michigan State, but an emerging Penn State. So just think about losing 2 of those games, but now you've got to add Washington at that same year. You're adding Washington and Oregon. You don't know how that's going to play out.
They've
and
been borderline.
You see what I'm saying? So then now you've got to, at risk of that. Is the team, when you look down the team with their recruiting, who they have coming, their quarterback situation is still kind of up in the air right now. There's some uncertainty as to, the replacement of CJ Stroud, how he's going to be, because they can easily fall into a Clemson situation where you have somebody you think you have replacing with DJ Uliungalele and doesn't pan out. And then you have a free fall now. That could actually happen at Ohio State.
Still free fell to 10 wins, but that offense was gross.
It was terrible. It had not been for the defense, they would, and the conference they played in, it saved them.
Right. Ohio State, I think, is more on the USC side of things, where they'll be good on offense, but the defense worries me. A couple things before we throw it to break, get to the crossover. Anonymous texter asks, who would you replace Ryan Day with? I think that's a legitimate question.
Great question.
At this point, I don't even want to throw any names out. Maybe. I don't want to throw any other names out there.
He's out there. He's available.
He is. Just because I don't think Ryan Day is going to get fired. I think he's good enough, because I want to go to Ted's text to end us off here, Strick. The Urban Meyer momentum at Ohio State is finally starting to slow down. That university is now on that dangerous cliff of unrealistic fan expectations versus coaching staff capabilities, and the decision they make because of years of high expectations could either right the ship or push it off the water.
We've been there. We know what that looks like. We know what that looks like. When a great one leaves, the expectations still remain. And if the follow-up doesn't come to the table with something of similar in the way that it was getting done, you can quickly be ousted and then find yourself he was at the benefit of a lot of the carryover. Let's be honest. Ryan Day was definitely at the benefit of a lot of the carryover. But if you don't step up and get it done, it could be a free fall. And you're absolutely right, Ted.
This is where, Strick, I think Ohio State as an athletic department and Ohio State fans need to be incredibly 100% entirely honest about what their goal is. Is the goal beat Michigan, or is the goal win national championships? They say, well, both. Why not both? Well, because you lost to Michigan last year and we're 30 minutes of football from playing for a national championship. The expectations aren't unrealistic, right? Beating Michigan is not an unrealistic expectation to hold Ryan Day to, right? He should be able to do that with his own guys, with his own coaching style, without Urban Meyer carryover. At the same time, you're a half away from the national championship with this guy as coach.
Yeah.
He's proven he can do it. So if your expectation is beat Michigan, he needs to do it. But if he can get you that close to a national championship, they were closer to a national championship than Michigan was.
I agree.
In some ways.
I agree.
TCU controlled that game.
But now you lose the quarterback that was the one that was your stable place.
Right.
And being able and one of the best ones in the league to play the position as wide receiver right now. Yeah. It's going to make it difficult, but can you replace them? Yes, you have a treasure trove to go after to replace them in the recruiting, and you being at the top tier of this conference in super conference transformation, you still going to be able to land some of the best out there in the recruiting market.
Absolutely. Delicate situation at Ohio State. We'll see how Gene Smith's successor handles it. How would DP&J handle it? Let's ask them in the crossover, maybe get to a couple other topics before Old School to wrap up on the block.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Ironhide Construction has an immediate opening for an administrative assistant in their Lincoln office. The ideal candidate will have experience performing a variety of general office, administrative, and clerical duties. If you have excellent communication, interpersonal, and organizational skills, and are the type of person who enjoys keeping track of all the fine details, then this job is for you. Learn more online at ironhideconstruction.com/careers. Ironhide Construction. Quality buildings and genuine service at a reasonable price.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today will see areas of patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies. There's a slight chance of storms later, and today we'll see a high of around 89. Tonight we'll see a chance of storms early, then mostly clear skies and a low of around 67. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of storms. See a high of around 93. The meteorologist Kyle Cook on 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're here on the block.
You could
have.
Back on the humbug.
You could have. I'm kind of quick with it, baby. I got these quick feet now.
Hey, Strick came in there like the tiptoe burglar, man. Little tiptoe burglar came in there, man.
Yeah,
like
boy,
off the little the good Austin.
Yeah, it'll keep moving itself, so we'll adjust it as we need to.
Yeah.
So, AJ, man, your
What's up
team, you know your boy came in and pencil whipped us a little bit.
Who?
You're two-time All-American.
Oh, Steve Taylor?
You know, they came in and pencil whipped us, my boy. They came
was
in.
he two-time All-American?
Yeah.
Second team and first team.
Yeah, right. Are you serious? I know he was one.
Why they do us like that, my boy?
What did he do?
He brought a team in. You went low, 14,
Right.
but you wasn't even in the mix because Steve and the crew pencil whipped us to death.
What'd they do? Shoot what? 20?
I don't freaking know. I know they went low.
You should have recorded it and been
And
like
Jake, I know Jake was over there kind of rolling his eyes a little bit, because he thought he had a little run on it. But
you know how you ever seen those Instagram videos where you have the dudes after and there'd be a bunch of guys that look like they can. Steve Taylor's group could golf, but whereas guys that look like they can't golf and they play in those scrambles, they come in like 24 under.
Listen, my boy, there was one time, and I mean legit, we were 17.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
Yeah, I've been in those. Where everybody plays good.
Everybody played, and we was making putts, and legit.
Yeah, not even in the top 3.
The last group to come in, because they had the things posted, dumpy. I mean, they didn't look like they could swing a club by themselves. They was all playing sloppy and walked in like Humpty Dumpty, and they won, bro. 18 on. I said, man,
Bunch of
y'all,
Prince Fielders.
And we had some ringers. Like we had some people that looked like we looked like we was ready to go.
I've been in plenty of those.
Yeah,
I've been
you stop that foolishness.
Yeah, man. Oh well, it did. I know he won some Omaha Steaks though, because he was walking. Their whole team was walking out with him.
Mm-hmm.
They're lucky they didn't get gaffled in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. That part.
They bust him up. Said, "Oops, thank you very much."
Muchas gracias, senor.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Hey, text me when you wake up.
Shoot, that's hilarious.
Jay, we were just jumping off. Ohio State's AD is retiring.
Yeah.
June 2024.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about Ryan Day's job. Losing to Michigan a couple of years in a row now.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a couple text questions of, is Ohio State approaching its Frank Solich point?
If they don't, well, the thing is, they could if they don't handle it correctly. I did watch Gene Smith. I have a ton of respect for him. No, first of all, the things that Ohio State has done in college football in the Big Ten, especially of late, the situations they've handled with Urban Meyer and all that stuff, they've done it with extreme class, all that stuff. And the thing that they've done for people that don't necessarily look like the majority of people on campus is second to none.
Mm-hmm.
To be in the state of Ohio and have Gene Smith pretty much running the real deal, he's almost like he's the AD/president.
Mm-hmm.
They work hand in hand together. I listened to his whole thing because he didn't want to be. He just knew it was time. He said he got a new president, which I'm sure he was thinking. That relationship between the athletic director and president is very close.
Right.
Yeah. New president's coming, then they'll hire the new AD.
And then he said, you know what? He or she's going to be coming. They're going to be good, and going to let them have their run. Now that's a trickle down effect. The new AD might come in with new ways or new thoughts of what they think is success is, or what they view it as.
Yeah.
And they might just show up and the lease might be short. But Ryan Day his career is good enough, and he's a good enough coach that if they do kind of trip up and try to do the Frank Solich thing, he'll go on to the pros or go on to another, upper echelon school. regardless of what happens between him and Michigan, because you got Michigan up to just 2 years ago had lost 7 games in a row to Ohio State.
Right.
Ryan Day has either been the offensive coordinator or the head coach in majority of those. Last year's game is specifically, I felt like the defense let them down. Now that's a head coach's problem. That's the way you got to go, and they have to go back and really change some stuff.
But what Ohio State did was went and hired Jim Knowles, who ran some good defenses at Oklahoma State, whereas what Lincoln Riley did was stick by his guy.
Right. Yeah, right. And now he's facing an uphill battle coming into the Big Ten, is going to get baptized when it comes to defense. Now, and then also by the time he comes into the Big Ten, he won't have Caleb Williams. Now, he'll have another 4 or 5-star recruit or recruits that he's potentially have groomed. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Ohio State, because it's not just an Ohio State decision. It's a Big Ten decision.
Right.
Because whoever the president is, and then they have to now, whoever the president is has to have a good idea of who they're going to hire as athletic director moving forward, has to make sure that person, he or she, has 1 or 2, 3 people in mind, just in case Ryan Day might decide to take another job offer. Even if he does lose, he would say, look, I don't know you. Yeah, you can come in and say everything's great.
Yeah, because the levels of communication could change dramatically. Just by that.
The support,
the
unwavering support, the understanding what you're trying to do, understanding that you got a new quarterback or quarterbacks coming in or whatever you got going on, possibly could be that. Because you got to think, just say it is after 2024. Ryan Day, just say either they win or lose to Michigan. Well, they lose Marvin Harrison. They potentially could lose the quarterback. They lose all the people on defense that are their number 1 guys. And then they lose their tight end, who's actually really good. And they lose 2 of their offensive linemen. Now, Ohio State got guys waiting that would probably be starting here, but they're not those guys. Marvin Harrison is one of the best receivers on planet Earth, or Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of the best receivers on planet Earth right now.
That's a fact.
If you don't have an athletic director that actually recognizes that and understands it, that you might be 9-3 a year. You might be 9-3.
Hell, you might drop the Penn State levels and go 10-2.
Or you might just go 8-4. You might lose to Oregon or whoever's in their non-conference, and you might lose a couple barn burners, and then next thing you know, you might say you lose in the Big Ten championship or in the bowl game. You 8-4, 9-4, whatever it is. You can't push the panic button because he's too good of a coach, but that will change the landscape of the Big Ten and college football, because then you will lose a big chip, because whoever comes in there is not the last 2 guys that are there if that happens.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Strick asked a really good question. I mean, Gene Smith seems like he's at the top of the profession. Money's rolling in. What causes you to step away? Is there anything else in the cards?
I didn't even know their president left. So, I mean, the continuity is huge. In order for Gene Smith to be successful at his job, the president has to be on board and be okay with. I mean, we look at Northwestern. We're going to talk about it today, right? The president doesn't do his job. Athletic director then can't do his job, and then does it even worse. Then it affects the football team. What has made Ohio State great as of let's just say Urban Meyer, maybe even pre. You can say throw Tressel in there. That time. Obviously, the whole. Prior the quarterback getting some benefits, and then all that tattoos and all that stuff, and golfing at the golf course or whatever it was. Those are things that you got to work through, but the continuity and everybody pushing in the right direction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody doing the same thing has allowed Gene Smith to go and up the ante to said donors, to demand more from the Big Ten Conference, to be the voice, be the guy that. If I'm a new AD, that's the guy I'm going to try to talk to teach me the ins and outs of the Big Ten and how to navigate through being in the Big Ten, right? Or somebody I'm going to try to mimic, or try to copy and stuff. So that would make him want – I don't think it's any something like, oh, okay, I don't have control of it, but he's had a run. He's going to go down in Ohio State history as one of the best athletic directors, if not the best. And the time might be right, because does he want to go through dealing with the new president? You just don't never know, because it's
especially when
making not fun.
Especially when the pressures that you talked about, what he's called to do, raising money,
60 to 70% of his job, fundraising,
and doing all of that, and without the support, not knowing where that support's going to come from, does that job become drudgery, or does it become, still the fun and enjoyment that there's nothing better than like what we did yesterday, playing golf with friends. There's nothing better than working with people that you have a like-mindedness with.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than dealing and doing business with someone you like. That's why people usually do business with people they like. But there's nothing worse than
Playing
the unknown
of
doing that with somebody that's nasty, you don't know, that has that has a magnet opposite type of attraction to you, just that friction. That's hard, and that unknown at the age that he is, the time that the tenure that he's had there, like that unknown could lead you to possibly step out.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think what's made him successful is the relationship with the president and I'm sure board of regents or whatever they call them, that has allowed him to go out there and do his job, not freely without structure or accountability, but letting him do what he does best and trusting him. And then and also when you have those relationships with people that you like, you respect them. So if there is any conflict type of conversation, you can have them, but we're still moving in the same direction. With the new leadership at the president, they're going to try to, they're not going to be a plug and play type of president. They're going to be a little bit different. Does Gene Smith want to go through 2 years of dealing with it? So,
is there anything next for Gene Smith? That's my question.
I would see
because could he be like a college football commissioner type?
Yeah. I think if I was the NCAA and I'm trying to get maybe somewhat of respect back when it comes to NIL and all this other stuff, I'm creating a committee, not the college football playoff committee, because that's just like a rotation. It's like, guys that just, ain't got nothing to do, right?
Hey, Will Shields was on it though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, it's constant in rotation. Yeah. I'm getting guys that's trying to do it for the betterment of the NCAA and this, transfer portal NIL thing. He has a lot of experience with it because he's at Ohio State, raising money. He understands NIL. They're one of the biggest brands out there.
He's called upon
to answer numerous questions from different conferences and stuff like that. He has a great relationship with all the other commissioners, from like Stinky and all those other guys. I would have him head it up and then let him pick, help pick a few of his other and create some sort of board to be ready for the future of NIL, of the transfer portal. And Gene Smith has shown you one thing. He's always ahead of the curve. He's always forward thinking. And he's a free thinker. Why is he able to do that? Because he has a president that he has that's not in his back pocket, that is side by side with him. I mean, it was crazy that he decided to go. I didn't know the president left or whatever, wherever the president goes. Maybe the president retired and is like, hey, yeah, I'm next. But I think what he's doing is he's gonna whoever goes in there as the athletic director and is obviously handpicked by whoever is going to be set up for success. It'll be interesting to see if I wouldn't say tear it down, start taking some chunks out of it, because Gene Smith has got that thing built up, rolling pretty dang good.
We have a minute left here on the show today. Good stuff, man. There's a lot of topics we kind of dug into. Still the gambling stuff is one of interest to us, and what's going on.
We got
$1 billion.
Yeah, if you're $1 billion. But I think with this whole, we're going to talk about it, man. Does it trickle down to? I mean, we knew, we've been in AAU games where guys are throwing some money out. Does it go down to? Because there's games on TV now, high school games.
Was that movie with Tupac?
Above the Rim.
Above the Rim. I mean, that's where it's going.
That's what we're going to talk about, man. It's going to be huge. We're going to try to. I mean, we don't have enough time, but we're going to try to dabble into all of it, because I think Phil Mickelson, obviously, he has a huge problem. Is just the tip of the iceberg, and then that iceberg is just coming right down, and it seems like getting steeper and steeper and streamlining to big time high school sports.
Well, there it is. We're going to get into that next on Old School. We are on the block. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's right. It's Thursday.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and